On my 20th birthday, my parents set the crystal portraits of the 7 sea lords before me and told me to choose a consort.
I said I would draw lots using the sea god shell. In my last life, I chose without hesitation, Kaelin Drakon, Lord of the Northern Dark Currents. Only after the wedding did I learn, his dream lover, heartbroken, went drinking in a coral tavern and was assaulted by sea fiends. She tried to kill herself 3 times. Kaelin blamed me for everything. He gave her our treasury keys. He drained the Tideborn royal house. And at last, he let her summon a leviathan that killed my parents and me in the Darkcurrent Trench. Reborn into this life, the lot fell upon Caspian Abyss, the silent guardian of the sea god's tomb, who questions no tides. But when I walked into the betrothal ceremony, arm in arm with Caspian, it was Kaelin who seized my hand, begging me not to abandon him. I placed Caspian's crystal portrait before my parents. They exchanged a glance, unconvinced.
Seraphina, we know you've loved Kaelin since childhood. Perhaps we should reconsider.
I shook my head.
The sea god has decided my fate. I will try to follow it.
Besides, I already knew how forcing a marriage with Colin would end. Seeing my resolve, they relented.
That we'll discuss the alliance with the Abyss clan. But the Tideborn and the Abyssal Guardians are both ancient houses. To avoid complications, your betrothal must remain secret until the ceremony.
I agreed and left for the Undersea Charity Gala, but the Hippocampus journalists had somehow caught wind. The moment I appeared, they swarmed.
Princess Seraphina, which lord have you chosen?
Everyone knows you favor Lord Kaelin. Surely it's him?
I looked up and met Kaelin's eyes just as he entered the hall. Flanked by cameras, his cold disdain was unchanged.
Sorry. Move.
His shark guards shoved through the crowd. He pulled a pale-faced Mira Storm into his arms.
I have only ever loved Mira. Even if family pressure forces me to wed another woman, I will not spare her a shred of that love.
Mira flushed with emotion and clung tightly to his waist. Nearby, a few noble ladies who had always despised me snickered.
First heir of the Tideborn house, and still Lord Kaelin won't even glance at her. He only wants that Stormclam upsert's daughter. She's a disgrace, throwing herself at a man who prefers Mira.
The mockery grew louder. Mira lifted her chin from Kaelin's chest and shot me a defiant look. I simply turned away and focused on the gala, but the host seated him beside me. Kaelin sat down, fury still on his face.
Seraphina, I've told you countless times. I don't want to marry you. Why do you keep clinging to me?
I had heard these words before. They still stung. I am not clinging to you.
Kaelin slammed his fist against the coral table, disgust deepening.
Then why force this marriage? Does the Tideborn house think its high status entitles it to decide my life? You're trampling my dignity. Even if we marry, I will never look at you.
He meant it. In my last life, he never gave me even a sliver of love.
Then the woman he truly loved approached. Eyes brimming with tears, she dropped to her knees before the crowd.
Princess Seraphina, I know you despise me, but my parents are innocent. Your guards threw them out of the gala. My father nearly went into cardiac arrest from the shock. Please spare us. Even if it means giving Kalish up to you, I will do it.
Her last words broke into a sob. Before I could grasp her meaning, Kaelin pulled her up, his gaze on me hardening into pure hatred.
This has nothing to do with Mira. How dare you treat her this way?
His accusation baffled me.
I didn't.
You've been spoiled beyond reason.
As Kaelin spoke, the host's lackey approached with an obsequious smile,
Lord
offering a
Kaelin,
shell gift box.
A betrothal gift for you and Princess Seraphina.
Before the man could finish, Kaelin snatched the box and hurled it at me before the watching crowd. The shell gift box was exquisitely wrapped, but its sharp edge sliced open my chin.
Seraphina, Apologize to Mira, or even if the dark current domain cannot rival the Tideborn, I will reject this alliance. I refuse to marry a woman as vicious as you.
Gasps rippled through the crowd. No one stepped forward. I touched the wound, my palm came away streaked with blood. Kaelin stood before me, more a stranger than ever, his face merging with a memory of my last life. My heart turned to ice.
I will not apologize for something I didn't do.
Fine. Don't regret this.
Kaelin left with Mira in his arms. My parents, seeing the wound, rushed me back to the palace in a panic. The royal physician was summoned at once. Watching their worry, I felt nothing but gratitude. The sea god had granted me a second chance to set things right. My parents were still alive. The Tideborn treasury had not fallen into foreign hands. I would put as much distance between myself and Kaelin and Mira as possible. Days later, betrothal gifts arrived from the Abyss clan, piled so high they filled the undersea palace. Among them, the moonlight necklace, an heirloom passed down through the Abyss family for generations. A sign of how deeply they honored this union. A bitter ache rose in my chest. In my last life, the Dark Current clan, knowing how deeply I loved Kaelin, had told the world they wanted nothing to do with me as a daughter-in-law, that I had clung shamelessly until their son relented. There was no wedding, no blessing from his family. Recalling his parents' sneers at the dinner table, Kaelin's cold indifference. Then looking now at the Abyss clan's earnest regard, I felt even more grateful for this second choice.
After some thought, I resolved to personally select the betrothal robes for Caspin.
I was in the royal tailor's workshop beneath the sea, discussing cufflink designs with the old jeweler.
What are you doing
I planned
here?
to gift Caspian this pair of cufflinks, designed by my own hand, as my return gesture. Just then, Colin swam in. Disgust flickered across his
Princess
face.
Seraphina designed the groom's betrothal herself.
I've told you, I don't want to marry you. Nothing you do will change that. And I detest engraved cufflinks. Takey.
I looked down at the letter C on the sketch. He had misunderstood.
Actually, these cuff gips are for... Kaelin, this deep sea gown is beautiful.
Mira's eyes lit up. She brushed past me and lifted the pale blue pearl robe from its hanger.
If you like it, I'll have the tailor make you one just like it.
But I want to wear it tonight, to the undersea concert with you.
Alter this to Mira's measurements. Quickly. Don't make us late.
I frowned.
Kaelin, this is my betrothal gown.
I'm too busy for whatever betrothal banquet you Tideborn are planning. And frankly, Mira suits this robe far better than you.
Behind his back, Mira's smug expression was plain to see, but her voice dripped with false remorse.
If Princess Seraphina objects, forget it. This gown is clearly meant for nobility. Someone like me could never wear it.
Nonsense! The woman I love is no lesser soul. Seraphina merely rides on her parents' name. There is nothing noble about her.
Kaelin spoke without mercy and handed the robe directly to the old jeweler. The old jeweler's face remained neutral. He waited, as ever, for my command. After all, since his grandfather's grandfather's time, this shop had served the Tideborn royal house exclusively.
You!
Let her have it.
I cut him off. Kaelin's expression finally eased.
At least you can be sensible. After we marry, I'll grant you one dinner a month.
He spoke with such arrogance, as though offering me a meager scrap of love, and in that moment, I understood at last. Ever since he learned that the Tideborn stood as the first house of the seven seas, while his dark current domain languished outside the top 10, his attitude toward me had soured.
I had once loved his defiance. His refusal to peel was always on his lips. He made sure to remind me I owed everything to my parents. He belittled me, dismissed me. Knowing I loved him, he chose the cruelest words.
It was never contempt, it was his own shame. At this thought, a laugh escaped
Kaelin,
me.
are you so certain that you are the one I'm marrying?
You've chased me since childhood, telling me you loved me.
Kaelin's lips curled in disdain.
Every year, your birthday wish was, do you really the heart to marry someone else?
As if he had just heard the world's greatest joke. Nestled against him, Mira's voice dripped with mockery.
Who knows? With the Tideborn status, every lord of the seven seas must be fighting to marry her.
Even if every lord in the world fought for her, she would still choose to be my wife.
The two turned and left. At the door, Kaelin threw one last order at the old jeweler.
Have the altered gown sent to my palace, and those tacky cufflins, make them square, no engraving.
The old jeweler watched their retreating figures and sighed.
Your Highness, what should I...
Let her have it. I can design a new gown. I ignore his demands about the cufflinks. The groom is not him. He has no say.
That evening, a friend held a birthday party. Halfway through, Mira arrived late, followed by Colin's sharp guards. One guard tossed a crumpled bundle of fabric at my feet. I looked down. The gown, worth 3 million pearl coins, lay at my feet like a rag, the fabric smeared with white viscous stains.
Princess Seraphina, sorry to keep you waiting. I meant to return the gown after the concert, but Kaylin insisted on pulling me into the shell carriage. But you're famously generous. Surely you don't mind?
Around me, some pitied me, others relished the spectacle.
She really does love Kaylin to the point of madness. And what good does it do? Lord Kaylin loves only Mira. The sole princess of the Tideborn is obsessed with the man who rejects her, and the royal domain will belong to Dark Currents soon.
I'm glad Mira enjoyed it. Take it away and discard it.
My flat tone robbed her of satisfaction. Her fists clenched, and she stalked off to the last table. The seat she deserved soon. Her crystal screen account, with its millions of followers, surged onto the undersea trending charts. A perfect day, wearing a dress that fits, holding my love's hand, listening to our favorite concert. Within hours, countless gossip outlets dug up old clips of me confessing my feelings to Kaylin, setting them against Mira's post for the masses to mock.
Desperate Seraphina. Once a goddess, now a laughingstock.
And beneath the most popular comparison video, Colin himself had liked it. The undersea netizens erupted. Desperate Seraphina became a viral meme. My face cold, I deleted my account and messaged the Royal Public Relations Department. Within 10 minutes, every related term had been scrubbed clean. The day before the betrothal banquet, I was handling affairs in my territory that morning, when Dark Current shark guards forced me to their palace. The moment I entered, I saw Mira weeping on the coral sofa, tears streaming down her delicate face. Kaylin hovered beside her, murmuring soft comforts. The instant he saw me, his expression hardened to ice.
Seraphina, this is too much. Mira merely made a post. Did you have to get every single one of her crystal screen accounts banned? You know she's a blogger. You've cut off her future.
I only asked for terms about me to be removed. I did nothing else to ban her accounts.
Still lying. Who else has this kind of power but you? You're jealous of her, plain and simple.
It wasn't...
Before I could finish, a contemptuous sneer echoed down the staircase.
Talking back to your husband before the wedding. Is this how the Tideborn raise their daughters? We don't approve of a spoiled, arrogant girl like you, but we hear you'll have no husband but our son, so we'll honor your wishes, on one condition. Your dowry from the Tideboard house must exceed 50% of the royal treasury.
A cold laugh rose in my chest. I shook my head, ready to refuse. Then a sharp guard's fist slammed into the back of my knee. I gasped in pain and crashed to the cold stone floor.
Sooner or later, you'll be Kaylin's wife. A little practice won't hurt. Kissing the royal tail fin of your future mother-in-law, that is hardly too much to ask, is it?
The attending maids covered their mouths and giggled.
Princess Seraphina, you must kneel and look devout while you do it.
A maid shoved my shoulders, forcing me to the ground. My face was nearly pressed against Kaylin's mother's tail fin.
They were humiliating me. Humiliating my family.
Rage surged through me. I unleashed my tide force. A burst of water erupted outward, sending everyone scrambling in panic.
Seraphina! Are you trying to murder your elders?
I slowly righted myself.
I will only respect the parents of my future husband. You don't want to marry me, and as it happens, I don't want to marry you.
I turned to leave, but shark guards seized my arms from both sides, chains biting into my skin.
What do you think you're doing? I am the heir of the Tideborn. How dare you?
Kylan's mother surged forward and slapped me across the face. The blow blurred into the memory of a dozen slaps from my last life. I stood frozen.
The betrothal ceremony is tomorrow, and you still dare this insolence. Kaylin, look at the wife you're about to marry.
She's the one clinging shamelessly. If it were up to me, I'd be marrying Mira.
Kaylin, I dream of marrying you, but my family is low in status, powerless. We can't afford to offense the Tideborn.
She wept with such delicate, pitiable grace. Colin, aching for his fragile little jellyfish, strode toward me.
Seraphina, you've used every trick to force this marriage. Fine, I'll give you your chance. After we wed, you will not interfere in any of my decisions. You will not return to the royal palace. You will stay here, serving my parents and tending to Mira and me.
A maid brought forth a contract. The boldest line read, 50% of the Tideborn seabed mineral rights shall be transferred to the Dark Current clan. My fingers clenched. I refused to sign.
Kaylin! I'm not marrying you!
His mother seized the moment and struck
What
me
kind
again.
of seven seas sovereign is the Tideborn to raise such a disobedient daughter? I'll discipline you on behalf of your parents.
I lost count of the slaps that day, of how many times they forced my fingerprint onto their documents.
By the time they let me go, they had one last command. I must wear a black gown to the
Tomorrow,
ceremony.
wear a plain black robe. Black is the color of filth, perfect for you. I found it nothing but laughable.
The next day, for the betrothal ceremony, I wore my newly designed blue pearl gown. My parents conversed with the Abyss clan inside the hall. I received guests at the entrance. Near noon, the dark current family swam through the gates, flanked by attendants. They were dressed with ostentatious flair. Mira clung to Kaylin's arm, the very picture of a blissful bride and groom. At every occasion before, Kaylin's father had bowed and scraped before others. Today, he strutted with his head high, looking down on everyone, as though he were the most honored figure at this betrothal. Seeing me still in blue, Kaylin's mother's face darkened.
Where are your parents?
But today's guests were all prominent figures. I had no desire to stir up trouble.
My parents are inside.
Her coarse finger jabbed into
You
my
may go-
right shoulder
Tell
before
them
I
to
could
come
finish.
out and see me! I intend to ask them how a family so devoid of propriety could exist.
I frowned and stepped back. In the corner of my eye, I saw Kaylin approach. He stood beside me, as if ready to receive the guests together.
Seraphina, you've gotten what you wanted. You must be pleased. But you may have my person, but you will never have my heart.